Hello everybody, hope you're okay. I just thought I'd do a really quick one about this Ignite framework that I've just found that I've been enjoying. Essentially allows you to build a website in Swift, like from Swift. It converts it to HTML. It clearly needs some flow improvements. Bit of a, you do this, you have to wait to compile and stuff like that. But I thought they'd got it kind of right. So I've tried some other frameworks, like my skill set is Swift UI. Swift UI, all that sort of stuff. PHP, a bit of that in the back end. I get HTML. Like I can write HTML, or I can write like a React framework or stuff like that. But it's not where my skills are based. Like, I'm not skilled there. But we'll jump over to the computer now, and I'll show you all about it, show what's happening, all that sort of stuff. So this is the Ignite frameworky sort of stuff. It appears to just be some framework. It's by Paul, I can't remember his last name. He's really in the Swift game. He's really in the iOS ecosystem, and I thought this is great. They've clearly put a lot of work into it, and it's clearly been around a while. They've got a lot of contributors, all that sort of stuff. But it's quite simple. You download it, you run it as a binary, you have it as a binary on your computer. You can create a site with it, which just creates a sort of package, a Swift package, so that you can edit in Xcode. Xcode does all the typing and stuff like that, all that sort of stuff. And you could just run it locally. So he's got a demo site at ignitesamples.hacking with Swift. You can look around there. It's quite good, I think. It shows you all the sort of concept. Let me show you what I've been building. So this is my current web page that's available at thomas.net. If you go there, it's shit. Let's be real, it's shit. I have no idea what I'm doing with React. It looks terrible. But this is what I've just built. Hopefully it's still running. Yeah, so I've given it a bit of a design change. I don't know how to put some dots. I want to put the dots. I can't remember what to call it in there. But you've got text over here, and then you've got me over here. Whatever. Then you've got some apps. What other apps I've built? You've got all the icons, all the bit of text explainer. They look nice. I don't know why these three are bigger. I don't know. But these three are bigger. We're doing that. I've got this down here. This is all I've built so far. But let me show you the code. Let me jump over to the code. The good thing is it's in an editor that I'm familiar with. So you have what is this main site file. This is your main app, main builder. So this configures what is a site. A site has to have a name, a title suffix, a URL, built-in icons, author, homepage, and a layout, and a main layout page system. These sort of construct how the system is laid out. Oh, I'm moving the camera. Oops. These consist of how the structure is laid out. And then it calls publish on that. So if you jump into main layout, this essentially says what's on the main page. So body, what is in the body? So you've got your nav, your navigation bar. I haven't got anything in the navigation bar right now, but essentially you have that. Then you have your content, and then you have your social footer. So I've got this as the social footer, which essentially says that I have Instagram, GitHub, YouTube, blah, 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 what the links are. And that renders them like that, as well as the copyright 2025. I've just hard-coded the date in now. I don't know what happens if you use like actual Swift code to compute the date, because what this does is it outputs it directly to a static file system structure. It converts all of this to HTML, so I don't know if it does any of that sort of stuff. So I've tried to avoid any of that at the moment. Again, I'm sure they'll be working on that in the future. So that generates this little bit down here with these buttons that click on, which I think that's a great idea. I'm sure you could probably add some Google Analytics-y stuff to this, possibly. I don't know how you do that. Or you could just do it outside of the regular HTML. That's what this does. I got this. So then it also references this home page. This is the home. This is what you see when you go to home by default. That's this. No, sorry, that's this home. You have to give that a title again. You give it a top. This is a static page. It's a whatever. Give it a title. You have some body structure. It takes in main. So I'm taking in the main Thomas info page, which is what you saw there, and then I'm taking in my app page with a divider. If for some reason the types doesn't seem to recognize that app page is a function, but it is. And then this has just got all my apps laid out. So every single one of those items you saw there is laid out here. I'm doing a standard structure to create a view. The only thing you'll notice that's different is instead of doing :view, we're using :HTML or static page or something like that. And actually, I think that's quite clever. I think they've done a very good job. They've not tried to copy Swift one for one. It's not you write plain Swift UI code, you get a web view. You write what is a similar syntax to Swift UI with different parameters. So you do need to learn what a VStack works the same sort of stuff, but then you have to learn some of the other ones, like I'm trying to think what I need to learn, what I learnt. Like some of the modifiers, like where you use text and you use .bold, that doesn't work. You have to do font weight, .bold, stuff like that. And like links, they're not really like this in the Swift UI ecosystem. And you're not inside any nav stack or any of that sort of stuff because everything can be navigated around. But otherwise, I've shown you all that. There's all my icons. There's not much else going on here, but let me show you how you compile it. So you have to go to the code base and you write ignite build and then you run ignite run to run a local dev environment. So I'm doing both at the same time. It doesn't have any sort of on-time recompiler watching the code changes. So then this runs it on a point and on an IP address and a port. So we just jump over to that. And there you go, you see what I built, you see all the stuff. It looks quite nice. I hope you've enjoyed. I just thought I'd explain this. I thought so, because clearly people aren't using it. I've never used it before, but I'm going to be deploying this as my website, as I think it's a much improved version of the previous version. But yeah, if you saw the video about how my app did in the last 2 days, I've taken that down due to the audio being out of sync and the camera being all blurry. It looked a bit shit. But anyway, I will see you in the next one. Enjoy.